It was 8 years ago when I decided to go all in on entrepreneurship. And I remember when I was thinking about it, it's funny because I told you guys this before, like I used to think, I want to make a lot of money. I would say that when I was growing up, and I would say this all the time. Like it was kind of weird. Like my mom would tell me all the time, like, hey, like stop talking about money. But I never really did anything about it. Like I kind of tried a couple things here and there. Like I remember one of my cousins opened up a clothing line once when I was probably like 22 or 23. And that was probably the first business I did. But honestly, like that wasn't really a business. It was probably more of a side hustle or it's just funny thinking back to it, but hey, like that's how we start. And I remember back in the day when I really started going with it, this is when I was 22, 23, it's like 15 years ago. Then after that stopped. A couple years later, I did something else. And then the same thing, it just kind of died out really quickly. And then eventually I started dabbling into things, right? Then I was like, you know what? Like I didn't make a lot of money. Like I can do this. I can definitely do this. And so I started talking about it. I started talking about it to just about everybody. And so I went from never saying anything to no one to then be like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I'm over here just walking in circles. I'm so excited when I think about this because look, I don't know this for a fact about every single person, but what I do know is that there was a ton of people who were telling me not to do it. There was for sure people who were questioning what I was doing. But luckily for me, I will say this because I've heard some crazy stories from other people. Luckily for me, I actually had a lot of people that were supporting me as well. But there was people, even people that were very close to me who would really have me question the decisions that I was making. They'd be like, dude, are you sure you want to do this? It's too risky and blah, blah, blah. It's like they had this doubt in me. That's what I chose to believe at that time, right? Luckily for me, there was people who believed in me. But here's what's the crazy part. You guys are going to laugh at this. This is the absolutely craziest part. And I want you guys to stop and hear this. Is that I actually think I had more people believe in me than not believe in me. But it's very normal when somebody is going to go out and create something, whether it's a business or whether it's to go into entrepreneurship or saying they want to play a sport and become, the best of the best or go in the music industry or whatever. It's very common for people to doubt you. It's very common for people to judge you. It's very common for people to make jokes about it. It's not really going to happen. The funny thing is that they're kind of right? The success rate on really accomplishing goals like that is very low. It is drastically a low percentage of people who actually make it to the big leagues, right? And that's the big leagues in anything. And here's the funny story. I kind of laugh at this now because I couldn't quite see it then, but I remember there was always this fire running beneath me, this fire of I gotta make this happen. I need to make this happen. I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna prove them. I really ran most of my life and at least the last 10, 15 years with this mindset of I had a chip on my shoulder. I remember one of my best friends at the time told me that. He was like, dude, it looks like you always have a chip on your shoulder. Told me this 4 years ago. And I was like, what is he talking about? What do you mean? He was like, yeah, it's you're out to prove something. That was the first time that I really heard of that. And I was like, damn, I think he might be right. I think he might be onto something. And I realized that, yeah, this entire time I was operating with a chip on my shoulder. I was fighting against something or somebody to prove to them that what I was going to accomplish and what I was going to do was going to happen no matter what they said. And it's interesting because again, I actually had people supporting me. I actually had people who believed in me. There was a couple people, and it was very close people actually. It was actually my mom. She really doubted me. She probably would not admit this today. If you asked her today, she'd probably be like, oh, I always supported you. I had your back. And she did. She did have my back in many different ways and she would end up helping me. But she was constantly nagging. She was constantly complaining. She was constantly telling me how stressful and how exhausting and how risky it is. And so it's she was trying to convince me. And so I started building this story. It added more fuel to the fire of the story that I had already created even before that, I need to prove people wrong. I need to show them what's up. I need to show them who I am. I'm going to do whatever it takes at all costs. Here's the funny thing, that the only person who knew this story was myself. Nobody else knew this. For all I know, there was probably even less people who doubted me. For all I know, right? But I was driven by this mindset that I got to prove somebody wrong, right? I'm proving these people wrong. I don't know who these people were, to be honest, back in the day. I just knew that's where I was operating from. That mindset has absolutely helped me. That mindset absolutely allowed me to create the life of my dreams. And honestly, I think I've only hit 10% of the life of my dreams. I'm happy because I'm able to do things that most people cannot do or will never do. And I'm still got a long ways to go. It has for sure built me into somebody who can pretty much much execute anything and everything if I really choose it. If I really choose it, right? I can't do everything because some things, if I just don't choose them, it's just not gonna work, right? It's just like anything else. Like for everybody, you have to really choose into something. But that mindset, that's really what I want you guys to get here from here. That mindset was what completely changed my life. Right? I'm not going to get into like what created that mindset, why it happened, who caused it. Like there's so many people that it could have been, right? On both sides. There could have been so many factors, so many variables as to like why I got here or how I built that mindset and how that mindset got me here. It's more so the fact that the mindset got me here. This mindset that I had to prove people wrong and I had to get there one way or another and nothing was going to stop me. You guys get to look at that mindset, like what framework. Think about it. What framework, what blueprint are you operating out of? Because the life that we live today, in all aspects of our life, we're living that life based on the blueprint and the framework that our internal subconscious mind has set up right now. And even in this second, as I'm talking to you in the screen, I'm still operating out of some type of blueprint. You are also operating out of some type of blueprint. And so if your blueprint is not serving you, you will continue living a life that you don't like. You will continue being unhappy. You will continue never fulfilling your dreams and becoming successful. But here's what's crazy. We can all do it. Every single one of us can actually accomplish the life of our dreams if you build the right framework, if you build the right blueprint and internalize it so deeply in your subconscious that there is nothing and nobody that can change it regardless of how you're feeling, what you're thinking. You are wired to function that way. You are built to conquer and create in anything that you want to do, right? And when I say conquer, I'm not saying you're going to go take over a country here. I'm just saying you're going to conquer in whatever task you are committed to. You're going to conquer in whatever goal that is. You guys get to look at that framework. Like, what is that framework you're still operating from? I still look at my framework every single day, every single week, every single month. Like, am I still operating from the same framework of who I was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago? Because if I am, then it is going to be much harder to get to my goals. If I don't have a specific goal in mind, if I don't have a specific goal that I have had in the past here today in fruition, that means I'm still not operating from the place of somebody who can create that goal, right? So my framework is still on version 7.0, right? So how do I create 8.0? And so you guys get to look at that, like what version are you in today, right? We might have 100 different versions that we have the opportunity to grow into every single year, a different version every single year. But if you choose to stay in version 1 from when you were 10 years old, look, I'm not saying your version 1 might not work because it probably could, right? Somebody's version 1 could be more optimized to create a certain result than somebody's version 10, right? Because we came from two different backgrounds. We came from having, different types of parents, different type of experiences, different type of genetics. And so it could, right? But again, if you're not where you want to be today, then there's something off with your framework, and you guys get to identify that because nobody else will, right? Unless you hire a high intent mindset coach like a Tony Robbins, like a Tim Grover, somebody to that caliber that can absolutely change your life, hypnotize you, and just get you to see the things that you cannot see. You will be stuck for the rest of your life. And so that is all I got for you guys today, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.